Girl, this is my graduation card from Debrecen. I actually had terrible experiences in Hungarian hospitals compared to in Nigerian hospitals. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, you're welcome. My name is Janet and thank you so much for clicking on this video. For my returning subscribers, I really appreciate you guys for always coming back to watch my videos. I'm going to be talking about living in Nigeria versus living in Hungary in this video. And I made a video some months ago about things they don't tell you about living abroad. Yes, things no one tells you about living abroad, and actually that's one of my top performing videos on this channel. I'm going to link it up in the cards. If you're interested, do click on that video. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. So guys, I have been living in Hungary for almost 8 years. It's going to be 8 years of my life here in Hungary. I arrived in 2013 as a student. I was a student doing my BSc in Debrecen, University of Debrecen. I graduated, got a job here in Budapest, and I moved over to Budapest. While working full-time, I was also doing my master's part-time. Living here in Hungary has been an interesting journey and it has been smooth, honestly. I've enjoyed living here. Without wasting so much time, let's get into this video. I'm going to start with rent and bills. Yes, we'll start with that. The rent in Hungary is definitely higher compared to in Nigeria, and the price of rent in this country can vary depending on so many things. It depends on the size of the flat. It can depend on how furnished the flat is. If they have new furnishing and new appliances in the apartment, is going to cost more. It also depends on the proximity of the flats to the city center. It can also depend on which city you're going to be living in. So if you're living in Szeged or in Debrecen, it's going to be definitely cheaper compared to living here in Budapest. For the bills, is also paid every month. It includes water bill, the gas bill, which can be higher in winter time because obviously you're heating up your apartment during the winter to stay warm, and it's cheaper in summer. It also includes electricity bills. You also have internet. Some people have cable TV, so you also have to pay that every month. And you also have the community fee or common cost. The common cost is just maintenance for the building. So if you have elevator in your building, that's going to be included. The maintenance is going to be included. It also includes cleaning the building. Let's say someone is paying $500 every month as rent in Budapest, and the person is sharing an apartment with someone just to cut down on the cost. That $500, which is amounting to about 210,000 naira, can actually get you a decent apartment in Nigeria. If you take 2 months worth of rent in Budapest, you can actually pay for an apartment, a decent place in Nigeria for a year. So let's say you're living maybe in, I don't know, Port Harcourt, or you're living in, I don't know about Abuja. I don't want to say Abuja. Actually in Abuja, in some parts of Abuja, you can actually get a decent apartment for $1,000 per year. So that is 2 months worth of rent here in Budapest. So the rent in Budapest, Hungary, is definitely much more higher. It's much more expensive compared to in Nigeria. And also for the bills in Nigeria, I never paid any bills in Nigeria because I was obviously living at home with my parents, but I could see like my dad was paying like water bill. He was also paying the electricity. At a point, the electricity was every month, but then we got this prepaid meter where you buy the subscription card and you just slot in the numbers in the meter and you have electricity. You have the units worth of what you paid for. And with that, like if you don't have the money to buy the units, well, you stay with the electricity, right? But you don't have to pay it every month. It's not like a recurring thing that you pay every month. He also paid, I think, water and electricity. That was the only thing I remember that he was also paying for the trash because where we were living, like, and there's this truck that comes and takes, you know, the trash where you keep in front of the building. They take the trash away, so you also pay them that, and you also pay that every month. But apart from that, that's the only bill I remembered my dad paying back home in Nigeria. And you also have the internet in Nigeria. Like a lot of Nigerian homes don't have Wi-Fi, so it's always mobile data, right? And actually mobile data is actually much more expensive in Nigeria compared to Hungary. Like internet in Nigeria is so expensive compared to here in Hungary. It's cheap. Another difference with finding homes in Nigeria compared to in Hungary is that in Hungary the apartments come fully furnished. So I would say majority of the time when you're looking for an apartment, most of the apartment will be fully furnished. They have everything you need in the apartment. The kitchen is fully furnished, the bedrooms are furnished, the living room, the bathroom, you need everything you need basically is in the apartment, and you just drag in your bag and you unpack in the apartment, which is very convenient. But in Nigeria the apartments are always empty. I don't know if I'm wrong, please correct me, but most of the time the apartment in Nigeria where you rent is empty and you have to furnish the entire place by yourself. And also in Hungary you can find some flats that are not furnished, and they are actually less expensive compared to the furnished flats, obviously, but you have to buy all the appliances, everything you need, and put in the house, and at the end of the day you are spending much more money compared to if you just rent a furnished place. The only time I would get an unfurnished apartment here in Hungary is if I'm buying the place. So if I'm buying a place, I know it's mine, I would want to get it empty and then, you know, furnish it the way I want to and put the things in the apartment the way I want to furnish the place. But apart from that, I actually see no benefit in getting an empty flat in Hungary just because it's going to be cheaper, and then you start buying things, you buy the kitchen appliances, you buy dining table, you buy everything. And what happens if you move to another flat? That means you have to be dragging all these things along with you, or you have to resell it. And you can buy a few things, you know, just to add into the apartment, but it's better to get a fully furnished, or let's just say semi-furnished apartment, which is much more convenient. But in Nigeria, definitely you're getting an empty flat if you are renting the place. The second point we're going to be talking about is transportation. Hungarian cities are very well connected. Like, you can get to anywhere you want to get to with public transportation, and honestly, all my life here I've always used the public transportation. It's very convenient. Wherever you want to go to in the city, there's always a bus, a tram, a metro, a train that is connecting you to those places. So it's so easy to just buy a monthly pass and use it multiple times. It's unlimited. So if you buy a monthly pass, you can use it on different buses and trams and metros to use a transport system, right? Nigeria is different compared to Hungary, and in Nigeria it's always much more comfortable and much more convenient for people who can afford it to own a car or own cars to be able to move around in the country. It's safer to have your own private vehicle that takes you wherever you want to go to, compared to, let's say, taking the public transportation, entering the bus or keke, or taking an okada to get to where you want to go to. The system, I don't know if there is a functioning transportation system in Nigeria. I've seen some things on the internet, you know, with the railway that goes interstate. I think that's a functioning system, but even at that, there are so many flaws that I see people complain about on social media. So the system is not there, like it's not efficient compared to the transportation system in Hungary. The third point is the weather. Hungary has 4 seasons. We have spring, summer, winter, and autumn. And if you don't like cold, it's going to be a challenge to adapt to living here in Hungary. I, for one, I don't like winter. Like, it's my worst season ever. Like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to be in my bed and drink a cup of tea, or cups of tea. It's usually so dark and depressing, and I like when the place is bright, you know, and sunny, and people are like dressed in colorful attires. During winter, people are just wearing black, and maybe you see brown or navy blue, but it's usually so dull and cold. I'm always cold. Like, even in summer now, look, my palms are cold. Are always cold. My palms and my feet, they're always cold for some reason. Like, not to talk of during winter. If you don't like cold weather, living in Hungary is going to be challenging, but it doesn't mean like you cannot live here. Of course you can. There are several ways you can get through the season, but it's not going to be something you always look forward to. Actually my favorite season is springtime and also summer, so that's transition between spring and summer, that period, I love it. Like that's the period we're in now. It's not too hot and it's not too cold. It's just a perfect temperature. And in Nigeria, on the other hand, we have warm weather, so throughout it's warm, except maybe during Harmattan season. That's during January, December, that time, dry season, when you have the Harmattan season where it gets cold. But even at that, I don't even consider it as cold. It's just breeze that is blowing. You know, before I started living in a cold country, I always thought the cold in Nigeria, like the Harmattan in Nigeria, is really cold. But after that, I'm just like, when I go back home during Christmas and I see people wearing, you know, hand gloves, jackets, head warmer, I'm like, where are people going? Are people going to Russia or something? Where are people going? This place is not cold, because your body actually gets used to the cold during the winter season, that the cold in Nigeria is no longer cold. It's just breeze that is blowing. So the weather in Nigeria is always warm, humid also. During the wet rainy season, it's always humid. I will always choose that weather compared to, let's say, winter, because of course I was born there and my body is used to that kind of climate. That is where I'm more comfortable in. But yeah, it's all good. Like, God created all these seasons for us to enjoy, and I'll try to start enjoying winter. Yeah. Fourth point I'm going to be talking about is working systems and infrastructure. When it comes to this particular topic, I would say Hungary is definitely way better compared to Nigeria when it comes to infrastructure. And we're talking about education, we're talking about healthcare, roads, let's just say the standard of living of the people in both countries. Hungary is definitely better than Nigeria. And when it comes to infrastructure in general, I would say Hungary is right here, and Nigeria is like here, or maybe here. Yeah, it's that bad. Like, I don't know how to quantify it, but Nigeria definitely needs a lot of work. We need to do a lot of work to catch up to a country like Hungary when it comes to infrastructure and also having working systems in the country. Things take forever to get done in Nigeria, like paperwork, the bureaucracy. Hungary, there's also bureaucracy, don't get me wrong, there's bureaucracy in Hungary, but when we put these two countries together, Nigeria is definitely doing way worse compared to Hungary. When it comes to healthcare, I have actually had terrible experiences in Hungarian hospitals compared to in Nigerian hospitals. I've never had a bad case with a doctor or a bad case in a hospital, thank God, in Nigeria. But in Hungary, I've had not a lot, but a couple of cases that left me really traumatized. I went to the public hospital and I could not just sit down. Like, the place was so disorganized. I don't even want to go into details. Let me not go into details about that experience in this video. And when you talk about Hungary compared to other European countries, when it comes to healthcare, Hungary is definitely not doing good. Like, their system is definitely not good compared to other European countries. I don't want to go in depth talking about the infrastructure problems in Nigeria. If not, I'm just going to be depressed, I'm going to be annoyed, I'm going to be frustrated, because anytime I remember where we are as a country, it frustrates me that we have so much resources, human resources, like mineral resources. We have so many things in that country, but we just can't get our together. Like, we cannot get things to be working in that country. It frustrates me a lot. And let's just stop here. Let's just say Hungary is here and Nigeria is here when it comes to working systems and infrastructure. Fifth point I'm going to be talking about is university, and that is the style of teaching. I didn't study in Nigerian universities, but when I talk to my friends that I did, I can obviously tell the difference between the style of teaching in Nigeria compared to the style of teaching here in Hungary. The style of education here in Hungary is definitely way easier compared to Nigeria. With Hungarian universities, you find that the lecturers are very cordial with their students, they are very helpful. and if you need help from the lecturers, they're always willing to help out because they want their student to pass. They want all their students in that particular class to pass to the next year or the next level, whatever. So if you have a problem, and you can always say, have a conversation with the teacher or send them an email that you want to meet them, and they'll give you their office hours. You go and see them and they explain they explain whatever issue you're having and try to make it clear for you, because they always want that their students are having good grades. But when I talk to my friends in Nigerian universities, I see that the teachers are much more hostile and they want to frustrate the student and even make sure that the student don't even pass the class. Like, why would you be, as a lecturer, be wanting your student to fail and repeat a class when you should be aiming to see that your students are doing well? That means you are teaching them well. That means you are lecturing them well. So that's one difference I see when it comes to the cordial relationship between lecturer and students. It's way more cordial here compared to in Nigerian universities. And I also say the system here in Hungary, and there's something I love about the Hungarian university when it comes to writing examinations. So you have 3 chances to write exam. If you write the first exam and you didn't make a pass grade and you want to maybe upgrade, or maybe you made a pass grade but you want to make it better, you also have 2 other chances to write the exam again if you fail the first time. And that always came in handy for me. Like, if I write some exams and maybe I failed the exam, I always know, like, I can make it better. I can pass the second time or maybe the third time when I write the exam again. But for my BSc, I went to a typical Hungarian university, but for my MSc, I went to an international, like kind of international, private-ish kind of university. So the style of teaching between these two, even in the same country, is different. I really enjoyed the international one. There was so much conversation happening. Like, it was more like a conversation kind of class. Like, you talk about experience, maybe because it was masters, but it was really good. I enjoyed it compared to my BSc. My BSc was more lecturer students, learning, like they teach you. But in the other university I'm with my MSc, the lecturer will sit in one corner. You guys will have to do your thing. Like, you have to organize yourself, do your group work, your presentation, your practicals, everything, so it was more of a conversation and I enjoyed that. Wait, let me show you guys something. Let me get my graduation hat. I really like the one from Debrecen. Okay, I'm back. I just went to get my man, this is my favorite graduation cap. I don't know what they call it. I think that it has a formal name, but I really girl. This is my graduation cap from Debrecen. It's my favorite. I love the shape. I always see it every time I go get my socks. So I really love the way it looks. It says Debrecen Egertem. So this is the one from Debrecen. Let me show you guys the one from my master's here in Budapest. I went to IBS, that's International Business School, where I did my master's. So this is the one from, oh girl, hey. This is the one from IBS, and it's different compared to the one from Debrecen, but it's also really nice. I really like it. I love the teaching style in this university, IBS, if we're comparing to Debrecen. Oh, oh, the thingy, the tassel came off, so I don't know the real names for this thing, but yeah, so. And one more thing I want to say about the education style is that in Hungary we did a lot of like theory and practical. So I studied business and information technology for my BSc, and we had a lot of practical, especially on the IT side. We worked a lot with programs, we did programming, logic kind of subjects. And when I talked to maybe my peers in Nigeria that studied computer science or computer engineering, you will notice that I did more practical compared to them. And you can have some students of computer science that didn't write even a line of code when it comes to their BS. Next point we'll talk about is security. Living here in Hungary, I've never really had any situation that I had to be worried for my life or had to be scared for my life. And I could always go anywhere I wanted to go without feeling afraid that something is going to happen to me, or someone is going to take me, or someone is going to attack me. You can always go wherever you want to go to. It doesn't mean that there are no cases where people were attacked at night or racism issue, but compared to Nigeria, it's much more safer in Hungary. You can always go wherever you want to go to at any time of the day. The fact that as a lady, you can always go somewhere at 10 p.m., 11, 12, maybe just only you working on the street, or maybe two of you working on the street, and you still feel safe, is something that I don't take for granted, honestly, because in Nigeria right now, security is a luxury. The level of insecurity in the country is so high that I'm always worried for the people in my life. Like, they're back in Nigeria, what if something happens? I'm always worried. I'm not living there, but the fact that my family are still there, I'm always worried. And for them, whenever they go out, even during the daytime. But in Hungary, it's secure here. The level of security here is really high, and I've never felt insecure for once, like going out even at night as a lady. Let's talk about culture. The Hungarian culture is more individualistic, and the Nigerian culture is more collectivism. And in Nigeria, we do everything as a community. You know, you do everything with your family, your immediate family, and also your extended family. Everyone, you know, is all up in everybody's business as a family. Even people that are not in your direct family, maybe they are just family friends. Maybe the friend of your mom, her family becomes like part of your family, and we are just like this closely knit community. But in Hungary, the culture is more individualistic. You know, people cater for themselves. They just care about themselves and maybe their immediate family. It's not like they don't carry people's business on their head. Which is good which is good, and it's not so good also in some cases. I actually love the culture that we have in Nigeria of togetherness, like family and everybody like looking out for each other. But sometimes it can be really terrible. Like, it has its own downsides, but I would say like the advantages is more. So for Hungarian culture, like, it's all about the individual. It's all about that person. Like, it's all about them taking care of themselves and their family, maybe their kids, that's all, and probably their parents. And that's all. As a foreigner living in Hungary, there's one important thing that you always have to keep an eye on, and that is your papers, your legal stay, and your appointment with the immigration. You always have to keep that at the back of your mind, that you always have to go to the immigration to renew your papers, except maybe you get to the point where you get a permanent residence in the country, or maybe you get a passport and you become a citizen of that country. But you always be a foreigner, not just in Hungary, but if you're living in any other country in Europe, you always be a foreigner. And just know that your permits, you always have to find ways to keep it valid, let your stay be in the country be legal. So always keep that at the back of your mind. It's not just, oh, I moved to Hungary, or I moved to Germany and I'm just living life. Immigration is always going, the topic of immigration is always going to be in your mind, in your face. And if you have maybe a job and the company is sponsoring your legal stay in the country, it's going to be much more easier and for you, compared to maybe if you're doing everything on your own and you have to go through the system by yourself. So immigration is something that you will have to deal with for the rest of your stay in that country, except if you get to that point where maybe you become a citizen of that country. I think even at that, you are still a foreigner. That's all I wanted to share with you guys today. Thank you so much for watching this video today, and I hope you found it useful in one way or the other. Please do share this video, thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe to my channel. A lot of you guys watch me but you are not subscribed to my channel. Please hit that subscribe button and subscribe to this channel. You can also go through my other videos to find something that you might enjoy watching. Okay, so thank you so much guys, and I will see you guys in my next one.